Good morning, welcome to the stream. We almost had a perfect launch, except I have I'm sharing the wrong window. Ah, if you've been following the stream, you know that I'm aiming for perfection. With a counter, a launch, straight into introductions, straight into why we like queer games, straight into the game. Bam, 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 bam. But alas, we didn't quite make it today either. But that's okay. You know, what do you call it? The joy is in the struggle. Welcome to Queer Games Heck Yeah! A semi-regular playthrough of queer games. I'm Luke Miller, I'm a game dev. I love queer games. I think they're at the future of gaming. Like trends you see in queer games today, you'll see in mainstream games tomorrow. One example I can think off the top of my head is that I think queer games over the last few years have given a lot of thought about mental health, and not just about talking about it in games, which is revolutionary, but also thinking about the mental health of the player as they play the game. So, things like content warnings up front and, you know, thinking through the character choices in the game to make sure that, people playing it are left better than they were at the start of the game. Things like that, which sounds really quite normal, but is actually quite, groundbreaking revolution that queer devs have brought to games. And it's only going to get more important, I think. Especially when you see sort of microtransactions and gambling kind of infiltrate games because it's so lucrative. Where does the pushback come from? And it actually comes from game devs who care about the mental well-being of the players, and that is often the queer devs. Why did I bring that up? Is because the purpose of Queer Games Heck Yeah is to get screenshots for the Queer Games Festival, which is a celebration of queer games. Today we're looking at Sigh of the Abyss, Shadow Bonds, Chapter 1, Prologue, Part A, or something. Maybe I've added a little bit onto that, but I'm looking forward to it. The art is already amazing. I know nothing about these games, so if you're not used to, or you're not in the mood for unexpected content, look away. They could be dark, they could be rude. But let's go. Oh, once again, I'm clicking on the OBS screen. Big mistake. Okay, here we go. Viewer discretion is advised. I always think this is like promises. Sigh of the Abyss Shadow Bonds may contain appropriate content not appropriate for all ages and may not be appropriate for viewing at work because of the following. I always think it's like not safe for work. I'm like, murder, suicide, text-only descriptions of gore. Oh, that's great. Blood on screen, implied nudity, sexual innuendos, coarse language, alcohol consumption. Alright, I mean, the game is promising a lot. We'll see if it delivers. Creature of Shadows. Oh wait, no, the controller's over there. If you do watch the stream regularly, you'll notice that I'm always trying to get the controller working, but it's all the way over on the couch. I'm not going to get it. Creature of Shadows, Herald of that which is forgotten. You struggle. I'm going to. I'm just going to adjust the audio on that. We can't. Okay. You're going to have to put up with the typing sound for a little while until we get to the menu. It's quite loud in my ears, so I assume it's loud on stream. What amazing art, though. Not just the person, but the hands as well. Hands, weirdly hard to draw. Did we ever figure out why hands are hard to draw? I don't know why. You still struggle to understand what you are. Fret not, for you have the power to determine your truth and define your reality. Oh, that's cool, Fade. Oh, character designer. Oh no. This is where... So I don't actually have an on-stream name that I can use in all situations for games. And I said I would look into it last time this happened, and I did not. So let us pick a name that can be used in any game, really. Um, Alright, let's go with... Oh, romance with men and women. Romance with men. No romance. Oh, no romance option. That's cool. I love a ace option. Well, that's not strictly true, I guess. Like, you know, you can be very romantic as an ace. But now this is confusing. What does that mean, no romance? Okay, well, we'll go both because we're a general stream. Let's go Jet, which is my StarCraft 2 player name because I wanted something a little bit actiony. But let's resuscitate it for quick games. Heck yeah. Physical prowess. We've got 7 points. Shadow magic. I don't know what any of these are. Mind control, physical prowess, shadow. Put 2 into each. And we can't go wrong with a bit of shadow magic. Alright. I'm kind of tempted to turn the romance off, just so we can kind of see as far into the game as we can in the small time we've got allotted. Because we only get the briefest visit to these games. But I'm already impressed that there's a character editor. I'm going to take a screenshot. Alright, let's leave everything on, see what happens. Okay, screenshot that, because it's beautiful art. Turn down the effects volume, right down. Spare our ears. The curfew bell tolls somewhere behind you. What amazing art. Once again, I'm in awe of people who can create art. I'm late for a very important date. 4 copper pieces, the day's celery, jiggle in your pocket. Enough for a meal, but not a warm one. Nice world building. The sky is quick to lose its brightness, and shadows seep out of the corners, plunging the square in deep darkness. Miss? The woman who called out to you clutches her hands to her chest. I saw you at the temple. You're the one that reads... Oh, you're the one that reads, right? Ironically, I stumbled on that line. I've got to get in... I've got to focus. I'm just feeling a little bit like not into it this morning. Alright. This is, I guess, one of the problems of not knowing anything about the game, is that I'm not sure what the hook is. Like, why am I here, as it were? I guess it's a fantasy game. I guess because of the magic is probably the giveaway. The art style is amazing. It's sort of like a, I want to say 18th century, maybe 16th century look happening. This is what you do, yes? You volunteer to read letters and notes for the many people who can't, and the temple pays you a percentage of the meager offerings it receives. I mean, what a fabulous idea for a character. The one person who can read in the Middle Ages. That is a fabulous... I'm just blown away by the creativity of game devs. Not just queer ones, but all of them, really. The woman is concealing a crumpled scrap of paper in her hands. You have the feeling you know the reason she approached you. Is it to read the piece of paper? Humor choices influence the tone of your response. Shape your... Oh... That went away a bit too fast. Oh, okay, so... We pick an option. Phlegmatic. Why do you require my services? Choleric. Come back during the day. Melancholic. Why do you ask? Sanguine. Do you want me to read that? Oh, I don't see any comedy option. No, I'm always going, we should make the worst decision on stream, because bad decisions make good drama. Come back during the day. Why do you ask? Do you want me to read that? Do you require my services? I wonder what phlegmatic means. I thought it meant you had like phlegm in your throat. Is that the kind of grumpy option? Why do you ask? Alright. I am a creature of the night, so I'm like... I have something here. She flattens the piece of paper in her hands. I'd like to know what it says. Please? If you insist. She gives you the note. The charcoal script has been smudged, but it's still elegant and clear. It says, "The infant had your brother's eyes." El scandalo! The woman breathes in sharply. The Lady of Dusk took such a liking to them. Ooh. You have unlocked a codex entry. Click on the keyword to read it. You can access the codex at any time. We almost made it. We almost made it. What an elegant way to talk about murder. It's not a hyperlink. Are you alright? Does it say anything else? Anything at all? You shake your head. I need to go. You give her back the note and she stuffs it in her pocket. Thank you. I mean, the game looks fantastic. There's multiple character art. Intriguing main character. Intriguing little mystery at the start. All signs good. She grabs her skirt and starts running. The light that escapes from the windows dances in the dusk, casting deep shadows all around. You resume your walk, idly wondering what the others have been doing while you were working. Perhaps you can meet them tomorrow. Someone is running towards you. You turn sharply, suddenly alert. Distressed youth. Help. Screenshot that. Cool art. Cool collar. We dress terribly these days. I mean, wouldn't it be great if we were all running around in like fancy clothing? In tears, the youth reaches out for you with his hand. Please, help me. His jacket is one you recognize. He is a mage. Mage? I'm going to say magical? Magician. So, mage. So technically it should be mage, but that sounds like a character off an old soap opera. I'm going to say mage. Behind him, a figure shrouded in darkness follows, then stops in their tracks to assess you. Behind him, a figure shrouded in darkness follows. Gee, there's a lot of characters in this game. I'm going to screenshot them all. Skill choices are either locked or unlocked based on your abilities. Okay. Oh, buy the youth some time. Form a barrier between you and the hooded figure. Order the hooded figure to don't do anything. Oh, so we've got a magic option. Oh, we can't order the figure to hood. Okay. Don't do anything. Buy these. We can only form a magical barrier. That's okay. I'm okay with magical barriers. You rip away the shadows at the edge of your vision and merge them together. Give them a shape. Oh. Well, you always give a cornered animal a way out, so... Tall wall that pushes against the figure. You trap them in a cage, you make the shadows sharp. Tall wall, okay. Pliable, the shadows obey your command and form a wall as tall as the building, as wide as the streets. The boy doubles down, breathing heavily. Who's giving chase? I don't know, but we need to run. There's something he's not telling you. Something pulls at your mind. The shadows protecting you are being ripped apart, and the wall you erected crumbles into nothing. Uh-oh. Run, now. And so you do. When you turn around the corner, the hooded figure is already there, waiting for you. Hooded figure. Did you think that would work? He raises his hand to clutch something invisible in his grasp. No, and yet you tried. Well, I mean, I did think it would work. Commendable. Your meddling gave me a grand idea. You feel it. Something is yanking at your neck, closing against it, tearing through skin and flesh. Oh. The pain sears your nerves, leaving your senses scorched and slow. You are on the ground. When you look around, the hooded man is gone. The youth is lying on the ground as well, and his breath is shallow. Let's check on him. Whenever the option is like, try to leave. I feel like there's a clue in the title there. You crawl to him and gently shake him. Wake up! He wakens with a choked rattle and clutches his neck. His forehead is drenched in sweat. He's gone, the one that was chasing you. Really? Do you feel it too? He taps his neck. This? You nod. A spell has been cast on us. Oh. The boy sighs. If I knew this would happen, I would have never... The words die on his lips. What do we do? We? He placed it on you too. Well, we should leave. We caused quite a commotion. There might be guards soon. Do you have a place to stay? Can I come with you? If you promise to tell me what you did. I should do that, shouldn't I? I will, once we're safe. I'm loving that transition effect. It's very tasty. You managed to pay for the last 2 pieces of bread in the kitchen, cold and with nothing on them. I mean, I've never heard of warm bread. I mean, I guess it's fresh out of the oven. The boy is munching on one with a strange expression. What's your name? Youth. I need a new one, I think. Oh no. I had enough trouble coming up with one name. Right, let's hear it. I've always liked Ornell, so I guess that's my new name. I'm Jet. Blood of Shadows. I think I should tell you why I was chased by that man. You nod. Oh, the eyes move. That's cool. I ran away. I ran away from the halls, just as you suspected. And I thought that if I didn't cast any spells, the warden would be able to track me down, but it happened anyway. The warden? That's his name. He's the one the halls send when someone runs away. I'm sorry I dragged you into this. You're lucky it was me and not a poor sailor. I mean, you know, debatable. You should be. We need to resolve this soon. Don't worry, we'll be fine. We need to resolve this soon. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Yeah, okay. He attempts to smile. What made you flee the halls? He shuffles on his seat, looking the other way. Is he ashamed or regretful? You decide to change the topic. I know someone who can help us understand the spell further. That's good. Can we go there tomorrow? That is the plan, yes. His clothes are even more conspicuous than yours. Didn't you have a spare cloak in your armory? Try this on. Alright. He can barely close it at the front, but at least it partially hides his uniform. It suits you. That's nice. Why do I need to wear it? Never mind. I know. I need to hide that I'm from the halls. I should have brought some clothes to blend in. He covers a yawn with his hand. I do... So many visual novels do this thing where it's like, now it's time to go to sleep. But then they have like a whole like conversation about how it's now time to go to sleep. I mean, arguably, they just shouldn't go to sleep, right? The whole adventure should just happen. Yeah, the kid can sleep on the floor. I'm not... And hand them over to him. It shouldn't be too uncomfortable if you have these. Thank you. Yeah. You come back to your room with 2 pieces of bread smeared with butter and cheese. Ornell? He's on the floor, and his gasp is choked and pained. What's wrong? He crawls closer to you and draws in a deep breath. His hand clutches around his throat, pulling at something invisible. Talk to me. The spell, it's like a chain. You walked out, and it started pulling. I couldn't breathe. Oh no. They're like bound together. Did you get better as soon as I returned? He nods. Does it still hurt? No. He touches his neck, almost as if to make sure it's still intact. How come you didn't feel anything while he was gasping for air? Ornell cries quietly for a while, clawing at the invisible chain that apparently connects him to you. Then the tears stop. He looks at the breakfast you brought. We should eat something. Yes. Ornell takes a bite, then shuffles around awkwardly. I didn't really get any rest. I thought we'd get ambushed during the night, so I kept waking up. Do you know that when you sleep, you look like a corpse? You didn't move once. Oh, God. You shouldn't be looking at them while they're sleeping. Cross your arms, append, frown. It sounds bad, doesn't it? I was just completely looking around, and after some time I noticed that you were completely still. I'm sorry. A cry from outside startles him. Gee, it's all happening, isn't it? Just this woman runs up, then this kid runs up, then a warden runs up, and now someone's yelling on the street. It's good action to this game. Yes, the refrain is situated in an affluent district, and the workshops all around it see much traffic during the day. I'm loving this kind of like what do you call it? Sort of magic romanticism period. Um, now I'm just trying to think of a. There was a show based on a game that came out last year. Is it Arcane? Maybe similar kind of cool world building. It's a little bit Golden Compass. You know, the sort of clockwork magic kind of vibe, which is pretty cool. You throw a glance outside the window and spot a woman on the ground rubbing her knee. Sorry, I haven't been outside of the halls many times. Is this your first time in the city? I visited during the Solstice Festival. Oh, yeah, it is a hyperlink to like the Codex. Alright, that's what that pop-up box was about. Cool. That's once a year. Do you wish to see your family? Oh, alright, I'll ask. He bites his lip. I can't. I don't want... I would put them in danger. And the words die with a frown. I think there's a little more to Ornell than maybe first appearances. Last solstice, only my sister came to see me. It's best if I leave without seeing her. I want to board a ship to Banu Javadyar. Across the Middle Sea, a sea night way by boat from Karalais lies Banu Yavadar? Yavadyar? Okay, well I can't stop to read every entry, or else we'll never see any of the game. Because we've only got about half an hour of each one, unfortunately. Across the sea to another continent. The why, I guess, is most important. The halls don't have any jurisdiction there, or at least that's what I've been told. I didn't really think that through, did I? His shoulders slump. I feel like the music has... the sound's reset. Even if you must think me a fool. I do. I do. I thought as much. Yeah, I just think that it's just way too loud. Message volume? Is that message volume? Alright. Oh, that's better. Let's hear it. Still, I think that's too loud. Well, they can't all be winners. Not every stream can be a winner, okay? What a pity, because it's an amazing game. I just don't think I've really done it justice today. As I said, I wasn't really feeling it this morning. I guess this happens to every streamer. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm here to learn as well. I just can't get over how good looking this game is. Even the backgrounds are really consistent with the character art. Color palette's awesome. I don't even know how you get that blue. Yeah. I usually dispatch to the settlements up north in the mountains. Have you ever been there? Never. They're much different from the city. The peaks are beautiful, and there's snow. His face loses glee. There was someone who needed help, a miner who was trapped in one of the tunnels. The family couldn't survive without him, and they begged me to find him. Ornell lowers his gaze. And I was not supposed to help them, but the woman reminded me of my own mother. And I thought, maybe things would have been different if my father hadn't died. Maybe she would have visited me during the festival. Oh, we're getting his life story. He fidgets. Sorry, that didn't make much sense, did it? We're staying silent. Because we've got a heart of gold, but we've got a gruff exterior. That's how we're playing it today. Forget I said anything. Where was I? Right. I reunited the miner with his family. When I saw him, he was bleeding out, and blood makes me faint. I felt my head get warm, my vision cloud, and I thought, no, he'll die if I don't help him, and stayed conscious. I even made sure to use the spell I was authorized to use outside the halls. How could they have known it was casted for a different purpose? Yet when you came back, everything was gone. My place, my things. I was sent to a strange room where my power suppressed. I don't know how long I spent there. 45 years. When they finally freed me, they said they'd keep watch. If I broke a single rule ever again, the consequences would be harsher. My friends, they wanted nothing to do with me. All because he saved a poor miner who reminded him of his own family. Tragic. I was alone, I had nothing to lose. So I tried to break free. Thank you for telling me. Oh. We're supposed to be gruff, Jet. I'll see you on that ship. You said you know someone who could help. I do. 2 people, in fact. Atri has been living in the shadows for many years, practicing magic and escaping the halls. I'm sure she could tell us more about the spell. The name sounds familiar. She was named after the admiral that defended the city 200 years ago. A little white lie. Atri is the admiral herself, centuries old and centuries bitter. Ooh, cool. The same admiral with the statue by the sea? You nod. You said she can practice magic. Is that the same kind you used? Yes. I've never seen something like that. It's impossible for the halls to track it. That's what has kept me safe from them. Do you think you could teach me? But is she a Sith? Is Jet? Are we playing as a Sith Lord? And we're actually just recruiting people from the Jedi to the dark side. Not if you want to leave anytime soon. Good point. She's one. Who's the second? He's a minstrel called Alphion. I bet he's good looking. I think this game it knows what we want, and it's going to give us a really good looking minstrel. Well, Nell makes a face. How is a minstrel going to help? He is not just a minstrel, just like Atri and you. He embodies Abyss, and his powers are particularly terrifying. Another Sith Lord. I'd run if I were you or Nell. You're gonna be. Yeah, run. Oh, we gotta explain. Okay, these pop-up boxes, they're very faint, and so I don't initially notice when they appear on screen. How can you explain that to Ornell? Perhaps there's more to him than meets the eye? You'll see. Trust me. He's very good at scrambling your mind. I like this idea of like, I guess it's like a chaotic thing. Fire. You'll see. Okay. Let's not. We're gruff. We're not going to explain. Atri and Elphion. I should remember their names. I won't. After you finish your breakfast, you leave the room with Ornell in tow. Oh, and there's even a whole map thing happening. That's crazy. Well, it's hard to go. I mean, we do want to see the cute guy on the assumption that he's cute. But I can't go past a 200-year. Oh. Wait. No. I can't go past a 200-year-old admiral. Cool backgrounds. It's like a painting. I love how the brickwork from the background has given Jet a halo or a little crown. They're so beautiful. The sky looks swollen, about to burst open in a downpour. Huh, it didn't look that bad from the inside. The weather, I mean. It's magic. You can smell a storm coming. I hope your friend decided to stay home for the day. Atri doesn't have a home. Really? Where does she sleep? Wherever she can. You know... Ornell points to the livid sky. I could do something about the weather. Oh. Don't draw attention to us. Yeah, aren't you going to alert the one... Yep, the warden? That's why I said I could. I'm not going to. I wonder if he's looking for me. You frown. Be careful what you wish for. Oh. Yeah. good looking guy in this game. Disarm the man. He takes another step. You raise your arm. Your hand slams against his wrist like an executioner's axe. He gasps and the knife clatters to the ground. What the? He takes a step back, squaring you up. He dresses the part of a priest, but is clearly not one. What were you trying to accomplish? You see, he almost tricks you with his relaxed pose, then he makes a run for it. You let him. You hide in an alley. Ornell follows you. Why did you stop? We can't find Atri. What? She is the one that finds us. Oh, how does she do that? Okay, I think maybe I botched that encounter. But I didn't want to, like... I'm trying to play it gruff, but, like, austere. And I thought that that was, like, we disarmed them. And they're like, hey, what did you do that for? I'm on your side. But we didn't quite get that. We didn't quite get there. We'll keep going a little bit longer. I've got a little timer that tells me when half an hour's up. But so far I've kind of ignored it every single time. And I don't think today is an exception. Because I was feeling a little blue, but this game is actually so good that I'm like, this is better than the alternative of not playing this game. Ornell. I'm just in awe of this art. It's so good. Although Ornell's arms look very long, don't you think? In fact, everybody's arms look very long. Maybe arms are long though. The bandages wrapped around her fingers are crusted with blood, and she raises her hands to adjust her hood, covering her face with it. Atri. Hello, Jet. Her voice is raspier than usual. She reaches out with her hand, then draws an imaginary line between you and Ornell, hiding behind you. Oh. She reaches out with her hand, then draws an imaginary line between you and Ornell, hiding behind you, cutting right to the chase. You're in a bind. Pithy. I was hoping you could help me. Nod. Can you see it? Quite literally, yes. I was hoping you could help me. She hums. This magic, it shouldn't be able to harm you. What happened? Who did this to you? Explain the situation. You decide to explain what happened to Atri, how you met Ornell, how he was chased by the Warden of the Halls, and how he cast a spell to chain you together. I see. She steps in between you and closes her fist in the air. I can see it, the chain that binds you. Why can't I? I also can't see anything. Atri turns towards Ornell and then towards you, shaking her head. She doesn't want to speak of the abyss with Ornell around. I can't say much, but know this. Once you find what you seek, then it will manifest fully in you. After gifting you with your powers, the abyss left you with more questions than answers. You have learned what it is, but you can't claim to understand it. The abyss is the comfort of the womb, the shadow that shields murderers and thieves from views. The abyss is the night shared by lovers, the death rattle of a forgotten prisoner, the soot under their nails after a long day of work. The abyss is what awaits them after their last breath. Is this the end of the prologue? And it should not hurt you. Oh no. That's just a really cool... You piece together what she really wants to say. You won't be able to communicate with the abyss until you fully swear your allegiance to it, until you embrace it, you fully understand it. It's the dark side. Atri closes her other hand around the chain that connects you with Ornell. I could try to break it. You want to break the spell with your hands? You spot a toothy grin. The bandages around her knuckles tighten as she tries to rip the spell in two. Something invisible pushes against her thumb, making it bend unnaturally. Ugh. Then the crack of friable bones make your skin crawl. I don't know what that word is. Then the crack of friable bones make your skin crawl. Makes your skin crawl. It's gross, whatever it is. What? Oh! Atri's thumb hangs from the side. You hear more cracks, more of her bones breaking. I'm just not going to say anything. I really want that bind broken. Scarlet drops fall from her bandages. She grunts in effort. I think I'm going to faint. Huh? Oh, Ornell, he's so useless. Blood. I don't... Ornell sways. Atri catches him before he falls, face first on the ground. Cute little animation there. It's like... when you've got limited character art, but then in your script you write stuff like, I grabbed the chain, or he fainted, or I caught him as he fell. It's like, how do you actually do that with your character art? But that was actually really, really well done. The boy won't last long outside the halls if he can't deal with a little blood. Audrey's mangled fingers crack back in place, and she lets Ornell rest against the wall. At least now we can talk. She stays crouched next to Ornell. This spell, she sighs. It brings back memories. It reminds me of that one. She looks at you, and her hood falls on her shoulders, revealing her scarred face. Her violet eyes look lost. It reminds me of the one that killed her. You don't need to dig through those memories. You're kind. I now regret not spending time to regain my full strength. I could help you. Like this, I can't. She looks at her crooked hands. But perhaps I can point you in the right direction. Yes. The halls disfigure the gift of the abyss. Magic was never meant to be the sterile affair they practice. There are still some believers hidden in the shadows that tap into the abyss's raw powers. Hedge mages? She nods. Do you think Marinette could do anything about it? Oh, another character. I've got a little bit of character overload. Your friend from the halls? I'm surprised you didn't come with her in tow. Having her meet Ornell might be risky. Rumbling thunder roars in the sky. Decide quickly, I will leave. I'm afraid that seeing me... Atri covers her face again with her filthy hood. Might make your friend faint again. Oh, thank you. I didn't do anything. She steps into the shadows and disappears. I mean, that's fair. That's a fair point. But there wasn't an option to say thanks for nothing. Progress saved. Well, maybe that's a good time to... Oh. That's Marinette. Well, let's see Elephon. And then we'll go. Because we've gone over a half hour by a lot now. Well, not by a lot, but like... the weather won't hold much longer. I hope your minstrel friend decided to stay home for the day. He could not bear to get his jacket soaked. Where are we going? Another great art. To the Rose, the tavern where Elfin rents a room. What kind of place is it? It's always busy, warm and smells of smoked meat and sweat. Even at this time? I admit I've never visited it in the morning. That's a great line. The rumble of thunder echoes in the swollen sky. We should move. You navigate the streets until you spot a tall building with stained glass windows. That looks like a temple. And it's even got rain. I always wonder, how do people animate their rain? It's an art, I think. Speaking of art, we haven't done our text box checks for the day. That's how successful this speech box has been. It's very subtle. A light drizzle begins to... Because I guess the game, something that I'm kind of focusing on recently as a game dev has been the overall like lightness or darkness of the screen. So not just the contrast of the different objects, but just, is it a bright game or is it a dark game? And I think this is a darker game. So they can get away with having a transparent speech box that's like, I don't know, 50% alpha with the white on it. Because I think if it was a lighter game, this transparency might not work. So well done to the devs for kind of figuring it out. Because I think to me this might be like a next level thing of game dev, is thinking about the contrast and the light balance in your game, because it's good design to have, I guess, the interesting things a bit brighter than the backgrounds, just because it draws the eye to it. But then just thinking like artistically about the whole tone of the game from beginning to end, to me that's something I want to be better at. I think I've been lucky in the past that the artists I've worked with, they've all they've all thought about that stuff, and so I haven't had to, so I fluked it. But how long can your luck last? We made it. Many of the tables of the tavern are occupied by small groups. You spot a family, hear some sailors speak their common tongue that is so similar to the language spoken in Carlisle. The smoky smell of the evening is being drowned by that of wine. The innkeeper barks something to an apprentice. Busy, I thought it was in the morning. Did you see him, your friend? Your eyes are on the tables, fall on a family sitting in the corner, and then over couples mingling, but there's no sign of Elfion. I do not. A boisterous laugh pierces through the noise. I hear him. Oh. He's in the middle. He's... There's quite a bit of cleavage he's showing. So I'm led to believe a minstrel is someone who plays music, right, on like a lute. I don't know why you quite need to be so buff to play music, but oh well. Filled with odd sofas and tattered armchairs. Oh, I don't think the sofa was invented till about the late 1700s. So interesting, maybe a little bit of anachronism there. Elfion is languidly lying on a chaise lounge. And what are you going to do after that, I wonder? One of the women in the group places her hands on the dagger sheathed on her hip. Ruffian, make you regret that stupid laugh, for starters. Stupid? You wound me, madam. Dastard. We're going to make you pay. Blah, blah. As one of the men unsheathes his dagger, another grabs his arm to stop him. What are you doing? Elfion's eyes meet yours, and he smiles, raising his eyebrows slightly before turning his attention towards the group circling him. He's still lying down, lazy and graceful like a cat. He needs help. He does not, but you can't deny the idea of playing hero is appealing. Right, let's save it. Great. And go back to the menu. Oh, nope, that does nothing. I think this might be a Ren'Py game as well. But it's kind of disguised a bit with some of those sort of more interactive the radial menu for the choices, which seems to be based on your point system. Having a point system is pretty impressive. That was so polished. I don't know, like from the website, it's on Steam by the way, this game. So if you are looking for it, please go to Steam and download it. I'm just trying to find I'm trying to look at the page. Yeah, so the prologue is free. This is the prologue. So I don't know how much of the full game is in here. It's crazy that what we got for that was free, because that was a substantial game with substantial art. It seemed really quite well balanced as well. There were lots of story threads, including the woman at the very start with the letter. Oh, I've just noticed this sort of hand on her face. Is that the Abyss? Could be. CG gallery. Oh, locked. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say other than that was really great. I urge you all to give it a go. I feel like our time has come to an end a little too brief, but that's the way it is. So I'm going to say see you later, everyone, and catch you on the flip side. And thanks for showing up.